Hello, everyone. Happy Women's Month. And thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Qumbi Boro. I am so excited to be facilitating this discussion today. First and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity to express our solidarity with women in the struggle throughout the world. We pay deepest tribute to our Oromo Siinqee foremothers for the precious gift of Siinqee. In celebration of Women's History Month, it couldn't be more appropriate to put a spotlight on Siinqee. Hundumti keessanii baga nagaan nu dhuftanii anaa dhufsiniin jennaa waa hunda dura garuu haadhotii Oromoo warra Siinqee nuu kennan leelloof kabaja guddaadhaan galata galchuufiidhaan jalqabnaa. Dubartoota cunqursaa bifa adda addaa irratti qabsaa'aa jiran maraaf tumsa keenya agarsiisuudhaan jalqabnaa. Guyyaan har'aa guyyaa Siinqeetii kennaa gati jabeessa haadholii keenyarraa akkoof akkiyyaarraa darbaa dabarsaan nutti dhufee leellisnaa beekumsa Siinqee gabbifannaa. Kennaa gati jabeessaa nu kenname kana nuti ammoo dabarsinee sadarkaa addunyaatti akka beekamuu fi akka guddatu gochuun dirqama hunda keenyaati. Kanaafiyyuu hamilee guddaadhaan, hamilee guutuudhaan marii kanarraa akka hirmaattan kabajaa guddaadhaan isin gaafadhaa. Yeroo marii bareedaa akka nu ta'u shakkii tokko hin qabu itti dhihaadha. The format of the discussion, the way we structured the discussion is we have 2 video clips that we use as evocative prompts for the discussion. Both video clips exhibit how contemporary Oromo women practice Siinqee, both in the diaspora and in Oromia, Ethiopia. Both videos are in Afan Oromo with English subtitle. We have 3 amazing women as discussants. All 3 of them are board members of Siinqee Institute. Professor Martha Kuwee Kumsa, Professor Emerita of Social Work at Laurier University, originally from Oromia, Ethiopia. Professor Eliana Suarez, Professor Emerita of Social Work at Laurier University, originally from Peru. Dr. Chizuru Nobe Galani, Assistant Professor of Social Work at University of Waterloo, originally from Japan. For the sake of time, I won't go deep into their bios, but please read their bios on our website, siinqeeinstitute.org. Phenomenal women. The goal of this discussion is mutual learning and sharing of knowledge and experience. So we kindly ask you to engage in mutual learning and sharing of experience and knowledge. And we hope to draw diverse ideas and experiences. We're going to start with the first video. It's about 4.5 minutes. After the video, I'll ask our discussants for their reflection, and then I'll open the floor for general discussion. We'll go through the same steps for the second video, and that's how we roll. When you watch the video, please look for the core Siinqee principles that Dr. Kuwee touched upon earlier, the relationality piece, the solidarity piece, equity and justice. They're all embedded with the songs and rituals. Some are more obvious than others, of course. When we are done, we all should walk away with a better understanding of Siinqee, Siinqee principles, and understand its deeper meanings. Without further ado, let's watch the video and we'll come back for the discussion.
Dubartiin heerumte takka seera aadaa Oromoo keessatti hin arrabamtu hin tuqamtus. Tuqamuu miti uffannummaan isiillee osoo irratti tuqameetiin jedhee yakka jedha. yeroo sirni gadaa tumamu isa dhiiraatiif loga waa ari'ee ajjeesuu danda'u ittiin dhadhoolee waan tokko godhuu danda'u diina isaa ittiin faccisuu danda'u logaan sibiilaa yoo kennamu isiif ammoo yuuyyuu mirga isii ittiin falmachuu kan dandeetu siinqee kanatu kennameefi jechaadha.
Tatumamuun qabne tatuqaa hin qabne hin dhiibnu amma illee sifaana haa deemu garaa gaaddidduun jaraa si waliin haa jiraatu.
Isiin mana teetti ijoollee ofii mana teetteetiin ijoollee horitti ergine ijoollee jala teetti.
Akkasuma akkasii miti. Akkasuma kootu kennan murtii. Dubartiin dharan dubbattu yoomiyyuu nama dharan dubbanne ammoo rabbi ofii aansa. Gaafa siinqee tana qabatanii jidduu seenan siinqee tana bira namni hin taru hin dabran walitti hin dabru qaamni wal lolu lamaan hin dhaabata.
Siinqee jalqaba immoo abbatu namaa mura. Anillee akkuma san seenaa haadha xiyyaa waan taateef siinqee anillee gaafa heerumtu mucattii xiyyaan heerumsiisa akkasuma muree sossiisee. Dubartii manatti hafteeyyuu naannoo san jirtu hin adabu. Dhadhaa isii irraa guuratanii daakuu irraa fudhatanii marqatanii hin adabanii jechuudha. Kanaaf dubartiin adabni sun waan jiruuf dubartii ililchite san irraa hafte isiinuun adabamti namicha dhaane san qofa osoo hin taane. Kanaaf olii yaa'anii gaafa abbootiin gadaa dhufteetiin hin dubbiste yoo inni waan qalu san dhiyeesse yookaan hoolaa yoo fide gaara sheedamaa an hoolaa nyaadhu akka jeedalaa jetti itti ililchanii jechuudha. Kanaaf korma qalatan mirgoo jechuudha. Mirgoon qotin mirgoo bareeda laalanii mirgoo irraa qalatanii falanii biraa deemanii jechuudha. Itti ililfatanii araarsanii addaan deeman jechuudha.
Yeah, I know there is a lot packed in this short video. In a nutshell, like relationality is ruptured, Safu is broken. The first woman you see coming out of her house, raising her sink and ululating, she's calling on everyone. That sink and ululation is a siren calling on everyone, and harmony and balance must be restored immediately. You see her sink sisters joining her. Not just her Siinqee sisters, men are joining her, elders, everybody is joining her. They should restore the broken Safu, the ruptured relationality must be restored. Let's go to our discussants. If I could start with you, Dr. Kuwee, I know you have touched up on the core Siinqee principles earlier. What is your reflection after watching the video?
I think that it's very self-explanatory. There has been a pact that is broken. That fundamental truth of Safu relationality was broken when that injustice, when the husband came and beat her. that was a violation. They were not supposed to break that pact. Once the pact is broken, solidarity comes into play. All women, they come running once they hear the siren that something is wrong. It's like the ambulance or the whatever siren. Something has gone wrong. Come, let's fix it. And the biggest most important thing that comes out for me is that solidarity is a shared responsibility. It's not just the women. It's not just the hurt woman, not just the entire women groups, but the males, the elders as well. So there is that piece. And when they come and, everybody comes together, slaughter a bull or something, and then reconcile. And the guy that was a perpetrator is just really, it's a restorative kind of justice. It's to heal the wounds of injustice. It's not to punish anybody. It's a restorative. It's not punitive kind of justice. It's a restoration kind of justice. So I'll leave it to my sisters who are really eager to pick this on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Eliana, I'm going to ask you the same question, your reflection on the video.
Thank you, Qumbi, and thank you, my sister Marta, all my sisters here. It is a privilege for me being here because I am just a humble learner of the Siinqee principles, and I feel really honored to be here. Your question is very difficult, Qumbi, because there's so much that can be reflected around that video. But I will go for, first of all, how important is to have the wisdom, this Oromo woman wisdom in this time of the world that still women are fighting for having a violence-free environment. And you see that these traditions and this knowledge has been passed. And we are so privileged to have it and having this model that we can expand it. That is the whole foundation of the Siinqee Institute. Just to have a brief kind of, how can I say, brief picture of why it's so important to having a framework that unite women on all of this. I just can tell some few statistics. You know me that I am really king of statistics. In Canada, where I live, and I am an immigrant and a settler, 1 in 3 women actually experience some sort of violence from their partners or any other person. In Peru, when I am from, is 1 in 2 women. So 54%, and this is just recent statistics. And it's all different kind of description of that, but I am not going for that. In the whole world, is 1 in 3 women who experience definitely violence. They are still, and that is, statistics are always, how can I say, underestimate, because that is what is reported. From the pandemic, those figures have expanded because it has been what is called the shadow pandemic, that was violence against women in that way. The reflection on this is that how much important is gender equality, like justice, even if it's restorative justice, but the solidarity of women is something that has to be in place. And no better day than the International Women's Day. From my own experience as researcher, as Peruvian, as mestizo woman from Peru, I have been honored with the privilege to be kind of looking at the resilience within a community-based kind of participatory research with indigenous women in Peru that embrace similar kind of principles. In one, they were defenders of the justice and rights of the victims of the armed conflict in Peru, who last 20 years. I was commenting before with the sister that they were not defending about themselves. They were defending their communities and the victims. But the whole thing that made them being really courageous, what they call walking together, caminando juntas. That was the way that they become strong. They did it together. And they actually were so instrumental, even under-recognized on that, but they still honored with history in the war, that they were instrumental in stopping the conflict and in having justice for the violence that was perpetrated from the different sides of the conflict. So what I can say is, just imagine in this war that we have so much to do for women's rights, gender equality, and just living in a violence-free environment. If every woman will embrace this relationality, this solidarity, and just looking for equity, definitely and then leading for justice, I believe we are going to be in a better world. So that is something that hopefully this webinar and other things just embrace that incredible wisdom that is coming from the Siinqee model. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Eliana. I am going to open the floor for our audience now. Your reflection, questions, comments are welcome. Actually, we have our Kurdish sisters in here attending from Kurdistan. I'll give them a chance first since it's getting late for them. Zilan, I saw you earlier. Please unmute your mic, introduce yourself, and any reflection or comment you have, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having this event. Now here it's very late night actually, but I am very happy to be here with you. Really, it's very nice to see how women culture is deeply interconnected to each other. This Tilili, we told Tilili, and I don't, because it's late, I don't want to make it. But it's also a very important sign, a symbol of women reconciliation and women's solidarity and women's interruption to this for restoration, for struggle, for I don't know, for being in a nice event or in the fight and in the nice days also. It's very nice. And I was meanwhile when I was listening to, I was looking for a video actually to show you some similar parts from Kurdistan. So it's really very exciting to see this interconnectedness and these principles, core principles, which you mentioned very well, are more or less, even the geographies are very different in different forms, maybe in different colors, but still the spirit is the same. The principles are the same. And this is exactly what we say. Women culture is the deepest culture in the world, and women are the creators of the world, creators of the communities, and we are the universe. We have the universe within ourselves, within our energy. So we call it jineology. And we are searching for this. We are searching for this knowledge, this deeply knowledge, which unfortunately, which is mostly hidden behind the walls of patriarchy, hidden behind the walls of capitalism, hidden behind the walls of cities, which we are all stuck in. But there are traces, and we can trace this knowledge. We can trace our culture, and we can connect ourselves today with this culture, and we can connect with each other true feeling how united is our histories. So really, it's very good, very nice, and every time we meet with different women friends from different parts of the world, we feel this excitement and this honor to be together, really. And maybe most of the friends here don't know what's genealogy. Actually, genealogy is exactly science, a science of women and science of life, which is seeking for this knowledge of women, knowledge deep and grabbed in the women, and we say this knowledge of women, if we can enlighten, if we can unite or embrace this knowledge, then we can be free, we can liberate ourselves, our minds, not just as women, as communities, as society. So society needs women's wisdom and knowledge. So our world needs women's wisdom and knowledge to be liberated from all of the walls, all of the fences that surrounded by patriarchy, surrounded by modernity, capitalist modernity, let's say. So we, since 2008, we have this attempt and this claim to develop, to build up in a very systematic way, in a method of science, with science of genealogy, women's science, women's and lives, science of women and life, to cover, to recover, and to reunite with society's knowledge, with the women's knowledge. And I would like to tell you, most of you are just maybe the first time hearing this. We have probably some of you heard about the Kurdish people's leader and also a freedom fighter, Abdullah Öcalan. Abdullah Öcalan is now in prison, in an island prison, in a concrete total isolation. And Abdullah Öcalan proposed for women why women are not developing their science. They can name it as genealogy. Why they need this, we need this. And after this proposal, his proposal, the Kurdish from different parts of Kurdistan and overall the world, women try to focus on what's science and why we need a women's science. And now, after 10 years, we proudly say that through genealogy, this science, we build up really deep solidarity networks among women, and we build bridges among women from different parts of the world, which we can share our wisdom, our ancestors' wisdom, our mothers' knowledge, and also which bridge which we can talk about our future. What kind of a future we want? From what kind of a world do we want to live, share, love, and everything related to life? So really, it's very precious to have these exchanges, knowledge exchange, and it's very precious, really, not to forget our histories. And our histories are full of rage. Our histories are full of sadness, but also histories are full of resistance and full of creation. So it's very important, as I said, to have this, to research this, because unfortunately, as time passed, the capitalist modernity, capitalism pushed itself very much to our lives, and new generations have very little chance to reach, to communicate with their society, with their ancestors, and with this knowledge. And now the internet is the only medium, let's say, to make new generations have some information or knowledge, to reach some knowledge. And the educators, which the friend about told about the storytelling, is this story was my story also. My childhood was also passed like this, with storytellings around the fire from my grandmother, from my grandfather, and the others, elders there. But today's children are educated by the internet, by the technology, or by the ones who are not belonging to community, our communities, let's say. So to occupy this area, knowledge area, sites, also with our knowledge is very important. So I see it's a very important step when I look at your web page, the Siinqee Institute. There are really very precious works and precious steps to transform and surpass this knowledge as a culture to the next generations. I don't want to take too much time. Again, thank you, Spas, Gelek Spas, Jibo Hebunave, and the Hevra Behezin. We are together strong. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you so much. So the floor is open for discussion. If you have any question, please raise your hand. Any comments, reflection?
Akkam jirtu, how is everybody? We are joining you from Minneapolis. We have an event here. So we are grateful for the people here supporting the education empowerment of girls in Ethiopia. And some of our programs, most of them are actually in Oromia. So I just wanted to say a few things here. I came to this country 33 years ago, and I looked at what is going on back home or here, and women are experiencing so many challenges. And then I did a research. When I did research, I came across Dr. Kuwee Kumsa's Siinqee. And it was in 1998. And then we invited her here in February 29, 2004. And so we were empowered from that time on, very empowered. There are Oromo women here who were at that event at that time. And so we had our Siinqee app, and we said, we cried out, and we yelled for women to come to our rescue. Here I have my Siinqee today, actually. So when we screamed on the stage, some of the women are here. We said, who wants to join us to reach out to our girls and women? Here they are. We screamed, we asked for women to join us, and they joined us. And so Anne is, would you come so that they can see you? Sorry. Anne is here. So we went to Nejo together. That's where we started. Okay. So she came to the stage, and hearing the scream. And I have Cheryl and Kathleen. Would you please come over and say hello to people over here? So I wouldn't miss this opportunity to acknowledge, number one, Dr. Kuwee Kumsa. If I didn't see that, I would have just settled for what is going on. And we didn't settle for what is going on. Today, we are empowering girls and who became doctors, medical doctors, engineers. And it started when we screamed. February 29, 2004. Our organization started and established on September 2004. So I just wanted to acknowledge what kind of resources and wisdom we have as people. So thank you for the work that you're doing. We're working together. I know there are lots of issues that is going on, but nothing will hold us back.
I think if every woman can decide on her own on that. They don't need my input, but when it comes to Siinqee, I think the justice, the sense of justice we're talking about is not punitive. It is restorative. It's the purpose is not to punish somebody, but to restore that wonderful fundamental truth that has broken the relationships. It is to mend, to put together what has been broken apart. It's not to punish, but maybe there is a punitive aspect of justice. But in the Siinqee actually raises her Siinqee, a woman raises her Siinqee, and they fight in peace. Fight is not just the bloodshed and everything. It is the peaceful fight that we saw in the video. Remember, they were ululating because they said, we fought in peace, right? We won in peace, right? We won for the peace of our land, right? Yes. That was the restoration. It's not punitive in what we know. But today, there's a lot of complexities in our relationships that may need punishment, that may need just restoration, but that is up to us to actually follow what the context of our relationships demands, I think. And I would let my sisters talk about it, because Eliana, my sister, was talking about the walking together. Walking together is something beautiful. Women, when there is conflict within their communities, within their families, they raise their Siinqee and they fight in peace. They fight in peace. But when there is an aggressor from outside, an outside aggressor, a colonizer or whatever, they stand together in solidarity, defend their people, defend their men. They stand shoulder to shoulder with men and fight. So there is many layers to that sense of justice. It's not just one meaning. There's so many meanings. And I would like to actually leave that to Eliana, because she was talking about how women defend their families and their sons and their husbands and all of that. Defend the men when there is a colonial aggressor from outside. But when there is a conflict within, then they defend their rights, as we saw in the video.
Your question is really complex, but I will just take one aspect that is actually not too much related to the walking together and the solidarity piece that, we are, my dear sister was talking. It's about the punitive nature of how we stop, like a violence. It has been the goal and has been the tool for many years in different contexts. In some places, it hadn't existed. In some places, that was the basis. My question is back to everyone, has been working. The punitive kind of is not really working truly. We don't see that advances. And we have to probably go back for this restorative piece. In Canada, where we live and we work, indigenous communities has been trying to impose also this restoration process for many different issues, from colonization, the destruction of colonization, the damage that has been done to indigenous communities. And in the example of Quechua-speaking women in Peru, they actually tried to do that. The conflict was two sides. They tried to integrate these two sides, the one who were in one side and the other. So that is kind of restorative process. It's not kind of blaming, it's kind of just, if we don't do this together, we are not doing. So again, it's pretty complex, and I agree with my dear Martha. I call her Martha, no Qumbi. That is just how we met and connect, and that punitive justice can probably have a role, but I believe that is not the only solution. Definitely restorative justice have a lot of space that is unexplored.
You know those video clips, 5 minutes, they don't do justice to the whole story. It's a very big event, and there are times when the perpetrator, not just the perpetrator, the male perpetrator, even the women complicit and who stay quiet, when they hear the ululation, they don't go out, grab their Siinqee and go out. Even they would be called out. So it is calling out and calling in, but when there is whatever, the bull is slaughtered, or the sheep or the goat, whatever the kind of offense, there is reconciliation. But at that reconciliation, the man must show remorse first. He must kneel down and beg for pardon and promise not to do this again. And the women who do not come in solidarity and who stay in their homes, women would go ululate into their homes and burst into their homes, drag them out, and they too will kneel down to the women to the solidarity women who were surrounding them and beg for pardon. They lie on their belly flat on the ground. The man does the same. So there is a huge remorse. There is all kinds of checks and balances that need to be put in place so he does not repeat that violence again. But then there is life, right? Life takes over and things may happen all over again, but it is to show him that he has to mend his ways. He can't continue the violent way.
Zilan, did you want to say something?
I want to ask if in the Oromo society, not in diaspora, but in the Oromo society, is this Siinqee symbol or Siinqee is still a powerful tool or powerful medium for in the society. I would like to ask this because really it's very there are very similar things. For example, here in Kurdistan, we have this symbol among many different others, white scarf, a very tiny scarf, and when women, elder mothers are covering their heads with this white scarf, it's a traditional scarf, handmade. And when there is a fight, for example, or when there is a, an dispute, and if the women throw in between the fighting sides her white scarf, then this fight has to be stopped. They cannot continue fighting, and they should sit and talk. So reconciliation period starts with this. And this is a very strong culture, but now, for example, last years, it's slowly going down. So not that much effective as before, because when the society is dissolving, the culture is, the social values are dissolving, then also these symbolic powers are also losing their power, their strength. So my question is, if in Oromo society it is still a powerful medium or not?
Yeah, but it is like right now, like to respond to Zilan's question in one sentence, a board of Siinqee Institute, a board member is in Oromia right now, recording these Siinqee practices right now, currently. So it is a powerful tool. It has disappeared from most of the regions, but there are places where it is still being practiced, and we want to reclaim that because it is such a precious tool. So that's why we're here, to reclaim that and reframe it for our context, for our global context. Thank you.
Aga, did you want to say something, Aga?
Yeah, I think about the restorative justice. In our current context, I find it hard because even the Siinqee institution is being used just as a symbolic gesture. I don't think they have the same power, the same, I think justice and spirituality is very interconnected. In those olden days, people truly believe there is harmony when there is a unity and harmony is violated. They believe in it. If you remember in the video, one man was saying, dubartiin hin sobdu. Waan hin sobneef waaqayyotti dhiyaatti. So women, she is sacred, and they believe, and the violation is also equally violating the, God's rule or cosmic rule, whatever you may say it. So people take it really deep, close to them, and they follow it. But today, who would do that? Like if you go between the two warring party in Ethiopia and you bring the women, they're going to kill the women. Women are being killed. So we're talking about the past, but how can we make people to really buy into, to take it seriously, to respect the rules? At the end of the day, we really have to consider the tradition, going back to the tradition, and really take it seriously. Otherwise, it's just fake. We just use it to meet our needs, just to misuse it. That's what we see back home.